Hey, everybody. Welcome back. I am joined right now with the Department of Neighborhoods here in the city of Columbus, the director, Kim Douglas. Kim is the second only director because the department, and we'll talk a little bit about it with her shortly, has only been around for 10 years, as we all know. Department of Neighborhoods, up until Mayor Ginther came into office when he established it, was under Department of Development and things like that. So, all exciting stuff, but we'll get to all of that a little later. But the real reason why we're here is today's National Night Out. I'm just going to say it off the top, Kim. If folk have been trying to outdo what me and a couple area commissions did back in 2021, having the biggest and best Columbus North Side National Night Out ever. Nobody's
Mhm.
been able to do it. I'm just saying, hey,
So what I hear is you're the standard?
well, people are trying to reverse engineer it. They ain't figured it out yet. Uh,
Okay.
and they're wanting it to come back, and I'm like, no, that's a one hit wonder. It was a miracle we pulled it off.
Well, I'm gonna be on there too. I think the more events, the better. So I might
Right,
be on the side. I'm like, bring it back, bring it back.
right. But on that day, without a police escort and CPD, I'm like, it's like, oh my god, how are we making it all around the city?
You're right. You're right. I have the same issue as we'll talk about. We have 40 sites. We we have 41 sites. So getting around the city in 2026 is probably even more than I wasn't here at what was your year? 2016?
No, 2021.
2021, sorry, but now we have 41 sites, and so we may need an escort and a helicopter to make all those happen in one night.
Right, right. So how many do you typically, make it to?
So last year, I tried to do personally 5. I made 4 because, as you know, as the night goes on, so just a bit, they start from 4 to 8,
Yeah.
but you got the logistics. And while I personally try to do 4, my department covers all 41. And so my leadership, our liaisons, we have 8 that cover each community are assigned. And so everyone gets a visit from the Department of Neighborhoods and the mayor's office and Chief Bryant. But I personally did 4. The goal was 5. I just shot it shy.
Hey, if, you're making it to 4 or 5 in the night, that's hell of impressive. I'm not even gonna lie to you
Thank
right
you.
there. Because I've done had to go from Marion Franklin to Linden to, let's see, Far East, and
Mhm.
it's and the fact that it's 41 and it keeps growing, like back in the day, it used to only be 2 hours, 6 to 8, and now and with it not just growing but growing in time, being 4 hours is even more impressive. And so let's talk a little bit about it because you guys do offer funding in a way to some of these different neighborhoods that do put on national nights out. So let's talk a little bit about that if we can.
Absolutely. So for the last 9 years, as you mentioned, Neighborhoods has been in existence for 10. And so since 2017, we have offered grant opportunities for communities to be able to put on these nights. It's really important for us as the front door to the city to be able to have other avenues and venues for the community to not only have an entree to the city, but to also have an entree to the safety officers that are in their community. And that is the real focus for National Night Out, that safety officers, police officers, our men in blue are able to come out and create relationships in the community, which I'm a woman of a certain age at this point, and I recall when there were cops walking the neighborhood and they were the friends that shot ball or that, picked you up when you skinned your knee. And so this is a hark back to that relationship building piece. Community.
Definitely, it is community village making, and yeah, I mean, there's in this day and age, and the relationships, and yes, we've had our battles here in Columbus, but they've gotten a lot better than what they were when it comes to police and community relations. There's a serious need to get back to that and events like this like totally does help us, and it was events like this because I'll be 31 and so do have younger siblings that are under the age of 18 some uh a couple years ago, as a result of events like this, my mother had a seizure while driving down Sunbury Road, and because my siblings, they were able to get her pulled over safely and all of that, and then they flagged down an officer, and the two officers that they flagged down, they just happened to know really well and have a relationship with them through events like this,
Mhm.
and different community events, and so that made a whole traumatic, if I could use that word, incident just go a lotta smoother because it would have went smooth with any officer, but, the fact that they had that, relationship piece, that, you were just talking about in community, this made it go even that much more smoother because by time I, got there after I got the call, they had taken them in the corner store right there and gotten them something to drink and things like that. Didn't have to, but that whole, community building, piece, so
Human touch. It means so much even in those instances. It's invaluable actually.
without a doubt, and so with that, what's it like now working in and for the city coming from the county?
So I came here actually from out of state. I
Oh, you
did
came from you
a
were with the county though, right, at one time?
no, I
No?
was with
Alright.
city council about 20 years ago.
No,
But
that's I'm getting confused because
connection,
Kevin Boyce, you were
yes,
that's why I'm thinking the
that's
county. Yeah,
exactly it.
like, look, I know you work for, Kevin,
Yeah.
yeah, but alright, so where I'm
And
com
he was then councilman voice. And
yes.
we were a band of one at that point. And I had an assistant. And I think that is probably where my love for community engagement started. We happened to have the zoning committee at that time, and so I was able to see the city in a whole another way around development and, what was happening to the city again 20 years ago, quite some time. But the engagement that it allowed me to have in a community when something was being built, that I could actually educate them in a way that gave them the opportunity to have a voice, is the same skill set that I've carried over into being a director. Um,
So
and
then, from, like you were just, talking about working and learning and getting at a passion with the city and a council member's office, then leaving Columbus and the state and now coming back as a director, what's that full 360 moment, been like in a sense?
it it has shored up my love for local government. And so I left the state and went into a policy role at a state level. And it is a very different feel of writing policy that you hope will affect someone's life in a positive way rather than actually being boots on the ground in local government and implementing it in the way that makes sense. And so for me, the full circle becomes now being able to educate and inform and then be a bridge into city services that I think is needed at this point. There are oftentimes, and not just in current, but through time, we'll see opportunities where government has not had the best reputation or been trusted. There has always been a need for good public servants to talk about the work that we do. I am fortunate and blessed to sit at a seat that gets to do that every day.
All right. Now let's move a little forward because you coming up on a big milestone, 10 years, as we've talked about. But with coming up on that milestone, there we hear the mayor constantly talking about neighborhoods, neighborhoods, neighborhoods. In fact, I wouldn't be much of a journalist or doing my job if I didn't mention, for whatever way we felt about it, the courthouse project, like just being axed and now being renovated, but $75 million is going to come back in savings to go to neighborhoods, because he is always talking about neighborhoods. But most folks, they don't realize how crucial and critical neighborhoods actually do play a role, and how much power they have. They have here in Columbus, because we aren't on a ward system or anything. We have these, let's call them committees, but they're called commissions, and they are quasi, not my word, the word that's written in the city charter, literally quasi body governments to city council. What is that like working with the, I believe there's what, 23, 24 now, something like that, all of the variety of different neighborhoods. And I like to equate it to, since I've been in the game a little while now, and in a sense, managing a bunch of high school children, in a sense, and saying,
Mhm.
"Hey, you get this and you don't get that." I had to think about it, but it is a lot like managing a group of high school children when dealing with them, because, oh, we don't want these. We only want houses. We don't want apartments. Well, you got to. So, what's all that been like managing all of that? Because you talked a great deal about when you got into this, and when you were working for then council member Boyce, the zoning committee, area commissions, they play a huge role in that.
They do. And so, couple of points. There are 21 area
21.
commissions, and my office leads or houses 8 liaisons that are dispatched throughout the city to liaise or be the resource for those 21 area commissions. And I'm just gonna push back on a bit of kids. They are super informed and
Ye-
super engaged. And what I always like to lift is that these are volunteer opportunities. So many of our area commissioners have full-time jobs, and then the lift of not only keeping themselves informed, but then informing their community because they're the representatives, is not a small task. And we're um, we're excited to be in that partnership with them. And so you are correct. The zoning is a huge part of what they do because they have zoning chairs that keep an eye on a zoning agenda. As we know, zone in is happening, and so that role will look different, but it does not remove their voice from that process. And that's part of what we're discussing with the Department of Development. We've had a conversation about updating the code, and that portion is not ours to do. So I won't lean into that as much. What I'll share is our desire that the area commission system is a democratic process that sits right here in this heart of our state that I think leans into government in a way that's beautiful. It gives a voice, an organized voice, right? Because there's power in numbers
Mhm.
to our communities. So not only do they have a voice inside of City Hall, but then City Hall has created a vehicle to be able to get information, education, and whatever other resource they may have. And so I'm pretty excited about the role that our liaisons play in making that connection. And I'm super grateful for the volunteers that sit across our 21 area commissions. Um, we should look at how many. So the charter does not define how many have to be on an area commission. So they get to say what number that is. But we have between 8 and 12 on each area commission, and so that is a considerable number of residents that are plugged in.
Yes, and also for the viewers and listeners, each of the commissions have their own city charter, constitution, as we'll call it. Bylaws, bylaws. Thank you. I was looking for the word. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
look, the word is right there. So maybe if I
yeah.
Right, and it is going to come bylaws. Where let's take South London for example.
Mhm.
In South London's area commission, you can sit on the commission if and become an elected commissioner if you're a business owner. But if we go to North Central, for example, you have to live in that area. You can't just work in it. You have to live in North Central versus South London, and they're all different for each and every one. But
That's
and
the community, right, too. They're self-governing bodies because we
yeah,
want them to have that type of flexibility to address what they need in each community.
right. And what I will say is what South what is South London's problems aren't North London's problems. For example, they aren't the Northeast or the Near East side, and they you if you all had the opportunity, it was a little easier during COVID. I could have five different monitors going to different area commission meetings. But and I know it's a lot harder because some of them are at the same exact time. But start going out to them. A lot of them are live streaming on Facebook now, and I know some of them have their Zoom and WebExes that you could pop in on and watch and things like that. But
Thank you for mentioning that, DaVante. You are right. We want more engagement. So, and if they can't find them, they can always go to the Department of Neighborhood's website, My CBUS Area Commissions, and they can tap in. They can put in their area code. I'm sorry, their zip code or their address, and they can find out the one that's in their area. Thank you for that plug.
Oh yeah, not a problem because this is truly and these last 5 years post COVID, or even through COVID, I've really got to see and understand and experience pretty much from all sides of town now. There may be an exception of like two or three. I haven't area commissions I haven't worked with. Like most folks know, like Clintonville's area commission is probably one of the toughest. A great area commission, but tough folks, and I love them over there in Clintonville. But it's really your first level of getting involved before you think about getting involved with like city council members and things like that. Like you're even more local. You're block by block and home by home with area commissions, and that's the really exciting part. And they do operate a lot like, believe it or not, council meetings and things like that. And it's really a great sight to see, especially when a developer, let's say, is trying to build a store in your neighborhood. The developer and their attorneys, they have to come before the community and plead their case to the community and all of that first, and talk with you and get some community buy-in and things like that. And while there aren't good neighbor agreements anymore, there you can still be a part of that conversation. And so, as a result of that, another shift that has happened. Uh, is and what's coming up here? What is it? 2, 3 weeks are elections. The citywide area commission elections are in 2, 3 weeks.
So, we have a suggested date for area commission elections, but again, each one gets to determine. But there are a large swath, and I'm sorry you asked me a question that I can get back to you on the exact
About
date.
2 weeks ago, we moved to citywide area commission elections.
Oh no, we the department suggests a date in August. We do, but again, as self-governing bodies, they are able to set that date as they want. I think we have about two-thirds of 21 that will hold theirs on that date, but it's not a comprehensive date. So I wouldn't want someone to expect it, and it would be that one area commission that actually has their own date. But I'm happy to get back to you with the listing of those that are happening, if that's good for your viewers.
Yeah, yeah. When that'll be attached in the
Uh,
storyline. Everybody. Also,
Perfect.
you guys do a lot with summer dollars, we'll call them, because I don't like the term anti violence in the context it brings around it. But this year, you all in partnership with the mayor's office and also Department of Recs, were able to fund about 105 organizations. What what's that process like? I know it has to be overwhelming because you probably thousands of organizations submit for funding and things like that, and all the different ideals. What's the process like in the weeks leading up to that, and determining uh, who is able to get what, when, and why, and all of that? Because whether we like it or not, a lot of cities they don't have these funds to invest into community orgs. We're thankful for it. This year, about 22 million, I believe it was, went out. Uh, 17.5 went to one set of organization, and about 7.5 to another set. But none less. What's that whole process like? Because it has to be grueling to say, like, we we've been helping you out the last couple of years to one organization, and we want to give this organization another try. It's more politically correct than that, I'm sure, but more
Mhm.
well, yeah, I'm sure, and internally, when nobody's around, camera around, and you're having these conversations as a team, that's
So
the
the
reality of it.
so the process, thank you for the question about summer youth. Um, so this past year, the city actually centralized all of the summer youth grants into our Recs and Parks department. They saw a need for the infrastructure and support that it provided. And so this year we weren't directly engaged in the evaluation of those applications, but we did lend our previous experience, which gives a bit of a window into what it has looked like in the past. And so we know that the mayor has an amazing commitment to summer youth. And I will trust you on the numbers that you quoted on the millions that were given this year. And traditionally, they had been, or previously, I'm sorry, they had been spread through our Office of Violence Prevention, the Department of Neighborhoods, Recs and Parks, and our Education Department. And in each of those ways, the goal has always been to curb youth violence in the summer. And so there are a number of ways that you could do it through the programs that we were able to grant that cover some of our programming areas, which are My Brother Keeper with young boys of color. We have Commission on Black Girls that deal with young girls of color. We also have our planning areas that are one Linden, as you mentioned, which includes North and South Linden. We have the Hilltop area, and we just finished, well, not just finished, it's been a year now since we finished Eastland. And so a lot of our dollars, as we granted them, fed into the themes that had already been established by those communities is what's important for them. And so we always sought to lift the community in the way that they have told us that they wanted to be, whether it's by the community plan or whether it's by other organizations that have shown successful results for that. And so you're right, you're correct in saying it's a yeoman's task because the number of applications that were received by the city far exceed the amount of dollars that we have. But there is always an effort to make sure that the organizations that are producing results and creating safe spaces for our youth are those that we want to fund.
Definitely, definitely, and I'm glad you went into talking about other stuff, because that leads into as we begin to wrap up here. This one of the my last questions is, what is the real role of Department of Neighborhoods outside of area commissions, outside of you talked about Black Girls Rock and the other
Mhm.
and my brother's keeper initiatives and all of that. Like, what is the central role, and what is your job as the director and managing all of this? In essence, as Pookie and Ray Ray would say around the dinner table with Grandma, and what the hell does Department of Neighborhoods really do?
We're the front door to the city. We provide you access to every resource you may need. may need. So you talked about our 5 program areas. We will Commission on Black Girls, My Brother's Keeper, Community Relation Commission, which deals with housing or job discrimination for our LGBTQ plus community often. We have our New Americans program, which deals with the Leadership Academy. And we have our Rise Ups, which seek to bring mobile city hall 8 times throughout the summer. We do festivals all across the city that for those that wouldn't be able to make it down to 90 West Broad and City Hall, we have a vehicle that we call Mobile City Hall that we take out into the community that's able to bring you every resource. We sit for 3 hours within those communities, and we have our partner agencies, health, public service, water and power, um, every program that they have within them. We have partners from the county, from Franklin County Job and Services. We have the engineer's office, and we go into the community to make sure they have it. And then after all of that, we also have the 311 call center. And last year, we received 538,000 touches. That is a combination of emails, that's a combination of calls, that is a combination of touching us on the website. So when people ask what we do, we stay busy serving, right? 5 program areas, a 311 call center with over 500,000 touches, and we grant applications for 48 events for National Night Out on August 4th, 2026, from the hours of 4 to 8. And so there's no lack of work here in the Department of Neighborhoods. I am blessed to have a staff that are bought in and love the city in a way that show up with excellence across the city every day, sometimes on your phone call, sometimes at a community meeting. But in all those places and ways, we want to be the ones that are the resources to the community. So we invite you to come out August 4th, 2026. I'm hoping that DaVante is going to include a link for all the places that I hope to see you in. DaVante, can you come in Indianapolis right after?
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, we'll be somewhere. We'll be somewhere. There's a list of them. I try not to let folk know where I'm going ahead of time, but it will be out at some. I will be. It's it's like mapping out traffic during rush hour.
I tell you, it's the thing. And so, you know what? Let me correct. There are 41 events, but there are 48 organizations because there were some that pooled their dollars, which is always what we want to happen. Um, and I want to give a shout out to my team that graded these applications, that 100% of the organizations that applied received some sort of support, right? We weren't able to fund them all at 100%, but it's our goal that there is a footprint
So,
across.
and what does 100% funding look like, so we could have an idea?
It depends. So you can get up to $1,000. That
All
was the
right.
max of the grant. And so some didn't ask for the 100. I mean, some didn't ask for the $1,000. Some asked for five. It depends.
Yeah,
Anything up to.
price. I'm happy to hear that. It was 500 back in the day.
It was. And see, that's what happens when you are good stewards of the public dollar. You're
Right.
able to give more out to the public. And so we're excited that my office was able to give some level of support across the city. And so I think that's the story that I really want to walk away with, that there is hopefully a National Night Out event happening in every corner of the city. We hope you click the link. We hope you find the one that's close to you. And we hope that you join us and that you meet your officers there so that that relationship that we talked about at the beginning becomes natural for us all.
All right, my final 3 questions. Because you're very busy, I know you have to go, and we thank you for sticking with us throughout
Mhm.
the tech challenge woes and things like that. When you lie, folk, anything can and will happen, as we
Mhm.
all like to say. Um, First question: what is your vision for the Department of Neighborhoods as you are really just rounding around, getting your feet like all the way sunken into your sophomore year now? And the reason why I ask you that is because unlike some departments, and not just departments, but let's say businesses and companies too, you actually had your predecessor who done an amazing job and didn't leave you and with everything burning down and that I'm sure that has left you with a lot more being able to sleep at night and spend time with your family and your daughter and things like that. So I know you're just happy with that. But what's your vision now moving from the previous 10 years to the next 10 years and with Department of Neighborhoods?
Thank you for mentioning that my predecessor left me a very well-oiled machine. A very well-built ship has been the analogy that I have used.
Yeah. Carla didn't play over there. She ran tight shift.
She did not, and I am fortunate that, she left me with people in the right seats at the right time that were able to keep all the work moving. And so as I've come in to build upon the success that she had for the first, what, 9 years, um, my goal is that we move forward making data focused decisions about the services that we deliver. So 311 has a wealth of data. If you recall the number, I said over 500,000 touches last year. Those are our residents telling us some of the needs, right, that they have in their community. It would be my goal that that information is used in a data driven way as part of the mayor's strategic roadmap to make decisions about not only how we deliver the resources that we have in the city, but how we refine that as well. I think there are a lot of decisions that can be made around direct services to the city. We want to be a partner in that. We want to be at the table when we talk about how that happens. And so, if I had a vision, it would be that neighborhoods be is part of that conversation that's going on and it's happening already. I just think there is another layer of analysis that can happen with the data that we have in 311. You've made public records requests before of us, right? You know how deep and how rich that data can be. We should also be mining it for our own purposes in many more ways than we already do.
As a grandma would say it or auntie would say it, the devil's always in the details.
And
And but there is a
you're
wealth.
right, but so are the solutions.
Yes, yeah,
Mhm,
also, absolutely right. While the
mhm,
devil is in the details, that's where the solutions are. And for folks that don't know about 311, you could obviously go to the website. It's right here and also down in the description. But the phone number for 311, you can't just dial 311. You used to back in the day, from what I hear. But it's 614-645-3111, right?
yep,
Right. All right. All right. So
mhm,
that's the number you dial, and I know it often gets confused a lot of times because folk here recently have like started to call it the non-emergency whatever. I'm like, no, no, no. You when you need a new lid for your trash can or the illegal
mhm,
parking in the alleys and things like that, the vacant houses, the high. That's what 311 is for, y'all. uh,
mhm.
like that, that, not what you 2 separate different, numbers, and but, for the
Well,
fact. Go
it's
ahead.
for all purposes, but it's also for, if you're riding and there's a street light out.
Yes, that
Right,
that
right? You can also report that to 311, and that's the beauty of the app, right? So not everything has to be a phone call in real time. Tell us where you are and tell us what's out. We also wanna push some of that work back.
so, because seeing is believing, and we can show you guys now with, photos and videos in the app too. So
Mhm,
that's another, really exciting piece where, technology, has enabled the office to like keep up. And I mean, a half a million touch points is pretty amazing. So, real quickly, so we could really put this into full context. What is the annual budget that the Department of Neighborhoods operates?
so it depends. We get a target number every year, and so for this past year, I didn't know you were gonna ask me that. I want to say it might have been just at 10,000,000. It is part of our budget book. that comes out, I'm happy to give you that as a follow-up to the conversation too. We are about to enter conversations for 2027's budget, and that process will entail us receiving a target that will keep the budget balanced across the city, and it will be our contribution to how we do that. Um, I would have to give you an exact number, and I don't want to quote.
Sure. No worries. No worries about that at all. And that's why I asked because Department of Neighborhoods and Area Commissions, because we are entering into budget season and capital budget. The area commissions they get to play a nice little role in the capital budget and things like that, and allowing you all to advocate on their behalfs. And so the bigger projects with new streets coming in and being widened and sidewalks and pipes and all of that. That's all through capital police stations, substations, and things like that. That's all part of capital dollars, and that's another reason to really be involved in the process with area commissions. Um, of course, we want you to be involved with all of local government, but if you were just starting, it'd be a little easier because it's like talking to grandma and them. For
It's a great way to enter civic engagement. I agree completely. DaVante, are you on one of our area commissions?
no, I
Right. I think I'm right. That's exactly what I was going for. Hmm.
no, 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 no. I am on a commission though because I get to go to a lot of them and get to interact with a lot of them, and that's what we should start having you back every month, and you should pick a commission every month or two and come on and chat with us every month so we get to know the different parts of the city because the out on the west side one of their commissions they only meet like two three times a year, so that's one of the ones I haven't got to meet with. I think it's like Westland, or they meet every other month. It's like really weird on how they
Yeah.
how it's very few, but like that because the problems that they're having on the hilltop, while they may be the same as a near east side, they're also very different because the near east side they're looking for a grocery store to be put in that area, and that's what they've been advocating around. On the hilltop with all of them, it's a little different and things like that, and their problems. But just
I think singing the song of a beautiful mosaic across our city. So
yeah,
and we'd love to come on. We want to tell the stories of neighborhoods well. So we welcome the opportunity to talk about what it could look like for us to showcase not only the work of neighborhoods, but our area commissions, because I think that will draw people to that volunteer work. And that's exactly what we want. So let's connect.
yeah, let's do it. We'll get with Beth, and if you all hear me keep saying Beth, she's right off to the side when you have conversations like this. And y'all know because we I've played all photometers of this, and she keeps looking off. Kim does to the side, getting permission. In this relationship, while Kim may be the director, her PIO communications person, her PR person, that's really the boss and assistants for this
You said
duration. Yeah, and so that's why she keeps peeking over to Beth. Beth is making sure she looks good, got the right information, and we stand on task. Now, if
and you know she's giving me this sign now then, right?
yeah, right. We were getting that's what we were moving towards, but I had to make sure we gave her a big shout out for making this all happen. We'll get with her and see what we could make this look like. But I mean, get involved with your area commissions, everybody. Not just that. Get out to one of these national night out events right here below this video in the description. And if you go to our website and click on the link right there, what you will find is a list of all of the different events going on from 4 to 8 today on August 4th around the city. just go out, get involved. Some of them have free school supplies, some of them food. They're all different, and they're all amazing. Some of them have a helicopter out, some of them have the police horses out. You
Mhm.
never know. Some are like a big community festival, some are like a block watch party. So thank you all. We're all out of time. Thank you, Director Douglas, Kim. We are going to have you back and just keep doing the phenomenal work that you're doing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having us, and we look forward to connecting again. See you at National Night Out, August 4th, 2026, from 4 to 8 p.m.